You trust the healthy label at the grocery store, right? Europe treats 7 of those same staples like a red flag. Today, we cross the regulatory border and show you why these everyday picks get reformulated, restricted, or flat out rejected across the Atlantic. You'll see how additives tied to hormone disruption, behavior concerns, and long-term risks sneak past U.S. marketing. We'll decode the precautionary principle in plain English and give you quick swaps. If you read the front of the box, you're missing the story. The truth is on the ingredient line. Number 1, whole wheat bread, U.S. brands. You grab whole wheat for fiber and heart health, but that brown loaf can hide boosters Europe won't allow. Here's the truth. Many U.S. brands lean on potassium bromate to spring the dough and azotocarbonamide to rush the rise. IARC tags potassium bromate as possibly carcinogenic, and it's flagged for kidney harm, which is why the EU and UK prohibit it. ADA raises respiratory concerns in industrial use. Safety agencies warn workers to avoid inhaling it. That isn't a crust issue, that's a lung issue. And here's the kicker. Flip the label and see enriched wheat flour listed before true whole grain. That means a brown-tinted refined loaf. Bleaching agents like chlorine or benzoyl peroxide can show up too, which Europe bans in flour. Some big chains quietly swap recipes in Europe to comply, yet keep conditioners in US lines. Number 2, low-fat flavored yogurt. Low-fat flavored yogurt sounds clean. Calcium, probiotics, fewer calories. But when the cream comes out, the lab stuff steps in. Sugar goes up. Colors and gums smooth the texture and sell the swirl. Here's the truth. EU regulators banned titanium dioxide, E171, in foods after EFSA said it couldn't rule out DNA damage. US rules still allow it at set levels, and Fruity Cups used it to keep those pastel shades bright. The EU also forces warning labels on certain azo dyes for hyperactivity concerns. In the US, those same dyes, red 40, yellow 5, yellow 6, are approved and show up in kid-coated cups. Creaminess gets faked too. Carrageenan and thickening gums help replace fat, but they're controversial for gut irritation. It's like pulling the padding from a chair and stuffing in foam. It looks fine until you sit. Number 3, protein bars labeled natural. You grab a natural protein bar for a clean boost. But in the US, natural has no strict rule, so the label can hide a lot. Preservatives like BHA and BHT stretch shelf life, sweeteners cut sugar on paper, and candy-style coatings add color to sell the bite. Here's the truth. Europe caps or restricts BHA, BHT over hormone concerns, while the FDA allows them when used as intended. Titanium dioxide once kept coatings bright. The EU banned it after EFSA flagged genotoxicity, yet US rules still permit use. Bars also lean on sugar alcohols and artificial sweeteners. That can mean gas, cramps, and a laxative punch when you eat more than one. Proprietary blend can vary where those additives sit, like a black box inside the box. Pick a bar with 5 to 8 plain ingredients: nuts, dates, whey or pea protein, salt. No sprinkles, no polish. Skip coatings, titanium dioxide, and BHA/BHT. If a snack bar blurs natural, what do breakfast boxes do at scale? Number 4, American breakfast cereals, even the healthy ones. High fiber, whole grain, heart healthy. You see the badges and think clean start. But the fine print tells a different story on American breakfast cereals, even the healthy ones. Here's the truth. US boxes can carry synthetic dyes for color, BHT to keep oils from going rancid, and a vitamin dusting on sugared flakes. Europe takes a harder line. Azo dyes like yellow 5 and yellow 6 trigger EU warning labels that they may have an adverse effect on activity and attention in children. So many brands reformulate there to avoid that tag. And here's the kicker. While both sides moved away from trans fats, Europe pushed earlier, splitting recipes by market. Healthy variants can still load double-digit grams of sugar, then lean on preservatives to keep crunch. EU rules cap certain additives, including BHT, while US rules stay more permissive, so the same cereal can look tamer overseas. Bottom line, plain oats, dye-free muesli, or cereals under 6 grams sugar with no BHT. That's the box. What about the produce you trust by default? Number 5, non-organic spinach and leafy greens. You toss non-organic spinach in the cart thinking it's the safest green, but it often carries a chemical shadow that Europe won't tolerate. Here's the truth. US monitoring has flagged spinach near the top for residues. The EU bans or restricts more pesticides and sets lower residue limits. Chlorpyrifos is the split in plain view. The EU banned it, while a US court step in 2023 put it back in play. So fields here can still use a chemical Europe calls off limits. And here's the kicker. Bagged greens go through post-harvest washes. Those aids can interact with plastic and coatings, and you don't taste that. Add PFAS worries and some contact materials, and the salad starts with more than leaves. Rinse under running water, but know this. Washing removes dirt and some residues, not what's locked into the leaf. Number 6. Microwave healthy meals. Lean, protein, balanced. The freezer aisle sells control in a box. But when you heat it, you also warm up a stack of extras that Europe flags harder than we do. Here's the truth. US healthy meals can hide artificial colors in sauces, stabilizers for texture, and preservatives like BHA/BHT in parts of the dish. Labels have shown titanium dioxide used to whiten creamy sauces, plus caramel colors that deepen browns. Salt runs high to rescue flavor after processing. It's like turning up a radio to cover static. You fix the noise, not the signal. And here's the kicker. Packaging matters. Grease-resistant wraps and bowls can use PFAS that leach under heat. EU nations are phasing these out, and EFSA set tight intake guardrails, while the US timeline moves slower. Audits of frozen entrees keep finding high sodium and long additive lists. Number 7. Vegetable oils marketed as heart-healthy. Soybean, corn, canola. You reach for soybean, corn, or canola oil because the label says heart-healthy. But the way they're made tells a different story. Here's the truth. Europe sets tighter caps on industrial trans fats and moved earlier to restrict them, while the US allowed wide use of refined seed oils for years. High heat refining and deodorization can create trace trans fats and oxidation products. When you heat these oils again at home, aldehydes form and flavor goes stale, like reheating old fryer oil. The EU also pushes clearer labeling on refined oils and leans consumers toward extra virgin olive oil. In the US, many bottles come from GMO crops, raising residue debates around herbicide-tolerant fields and glyphosate. And here's the kicker. The long, hot chemical path that makes these oils neutral and cheap also strips antioxidants and stability. That means faster breakdown in your pan. The Atlantic acts like a safety filter. What sells as healthy here hits EU red flags there. Here's the truth. You gain control when you read like a detective. Ignore the front. Scan the ingredient line for artificial dyes, preservatives, dough boosters, and whitening agents. When a label stacks colors, conditioners, or vague blends, you know who it serves, and it's not you. Want the truth about what's really safe? Subscribe now so you won't get fooled. Drop your story in the comments. Tell us the worst one you've seen.